The Detroit Lions faced off versus the Baltimore Ravens yesterday on Monday Night Football. And let's just say, after getting slacked in week one by the Green Bay Packers, the Detroit Lions are letting people know they still got some juice left in the tank. Y'all know we're going to talk about that. Talk about some major injuries around the NFL to Nick Bosa, Najee Harris, and James Conner, plus a little bit more. But before we do so, you already know you gotta hear the music first.
Welcome to your number one spot for all NFL news and content, NFL Central.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back into another episode of NFL Central, your number one spot for everything NFL. I'm your host, Bobby, and I'm holding it down on today's episode. So if you tuned in, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Now, look, man, hey, I'm not even going to hold you. I did not envision the Detroit Lions going out there and pretty much dominating the second half of the football game versus the Baltimore Ravens. Now, it's definitely a toe-to-toe battle going on amongst both teams. And then at one point in the fourth quarter, more specifically, the Detroit Lions turned it on and really start to take control of the football game. And I'm going to just say it right here. Dan Campbell is letting us know he is the Detroit Lions coach. Dan Campbell is standing on business. There was a lot of talks, including from a lot of people, including myself, that questioned the loss of Ben Johnson, that questioned the loss of Aaron Glenn to the Detroit Lions. But Dan Campbell said, "Hold on, hold my beer. I am still the coach in Detroit." After taking that loss week one by the Green Bay Packers, the Detroit Lions went up and put 52 on my Chicago Bears. And then they neutralized Lamar Jackson on Monday Night Football. Dan Campbell stood tall, said, "Hold my beer. I am the Detroit Lions culture." Now, that is not, you know what I'm saying, negate or not pretty much put things into perspective for the remainder of the seasons, because it's only been 3 games played for the Detroit Lions. But the last 2 weeks have been statement games for the Detroit Lions after getting whooped in week one by the Green Bay Packers, to where a lot of us was questioning what is going on in Detroit. Is Johnny Morton really like that? It's Coach Shepard really like that for the defense? And last night, they neutralized Lamar Jackson and sacked him 7 times. A lot of teams make mistakes with Lamar Jackson and not really leave that spy out there. A lot of teams, when they go against Lamar Jackson, they overrush, they lose their rush integrity and holding their lanes and allow Lamar Jackson to get loose. Every single time Lamar Jackson attempted to get loose last night versus the Detroit Lions, it was somebody flying around hitting him. Somebody was flying around hitting them. We gotta call it how we see it. Y'all know who I root for, but when it's good football play, we gotta give good kudos to good football being played. And the most surprising thing when it comes to the Detroit Lions taking on the Baltimore Ravens was that fourth quarter to close out the game. That man, Dan Campbell, he believes in his players and they support him and they believe in him. In that fourth quarter, they had a crazy option play to go at the start of the fourth quarter to go and put points on the board. Then you come out and you force Derrick Henry into another fumble to start this season. And then on 4th and 2, having the guts to say we going for the victory. We not kicking the ball to you, John Harbaugh and the Baltimore Ravens. We're going to believe in Dan Campbell. We're going to believe in our system and then go for it on 4th and 2 and get the damn first down. And then after that, we're going to hand it off to our thumper in the backfield and David Montgomery, and he going to break one for a touchdown to put this thing away. A hell of a performance by the Detroit Lions last night. And if we love football the way I love football, no matter who you root for, you got to give credit to how well they played against the Baltimore Ravens. And you got to show love to how Dan Campbell has used all the smoke from week one to go out there and put pressure on his team and belief in his team to say, hey, look how they talked about us like the season is over in 1 week. Let's go out there and make them pay and eat some of those words. I ain't even gonna hold you. We talked about humble pie yesterday on to yesterday's episode. Got to eat some of that humble pie for doubting the Detroit Lions, at least for right now. It's still a lot of games to be played, but man, have that offensive line look good after week one. Man, has that running game with Sonic and Knuckles, aka Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, look good the last few weeks. They have been playing really good football for the last 2 weeks, and it looked like they might be able to go on a little bit of a run moving forward with the teams that are going to be on the schedule for them. Dallas Cowboys, Cincinnati Bengals, teams like that. It is going to be rough for a lot of teams to try to stop that run game that makes it so easy for the Detroit Lions to go out there and do damn near whatever they want on offense, allow that defense to rest and get performances out of Aiden Hutchinson and Alquandin Muhammad. What? Crazy work. Crazy work. Now, when it comes to these Baltimore Ravens, hey, Lamar, what we doing, Bo? What we doing, Bo? Look, Lamar had himself a decent game, but hey, look, and not it, and oh my God. And look, bro, not even gonna hold you. Todd Monken, offensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens, you need to get checked. Jim Harbaugh need to put foot up asses over there for the offensive coordinator for Todd Monken. You in the red zone, you run 3 straight run plays, and all of them get blown up with Derrick Henry, and you have Lamar Jackson right there. Hold on now. Hold on now. You got to be better than that. You have to be better than that if we keeping it real and keeping it 100. You cannot allow you to be in a red zone and you can't cash in with Lamar Jackson, D-Hop, and Derrick Henry, and Zay Flowers, and Mark Andrews, and Bateman. What are we doing? What are we doing? The Baltimore Ravens made so many mistakes yesterday at the second half of that game. Yeah, they went toe-to-toe, you know what I'm saying, in that first half, but we know the money quarter is the fourth quarter in the NFL. Anything can happen. But the team that wants it more, the team that execute more, they typically come out as the victor as long as they take care of business in the fourth quarter. And for the Baltimore Ravens, y'all ain't take care of business. Now, Baltimore, they about to go up in the matchup versus the Kansas City Chiefs this upcoming week, Sunday. I believe it's Sunday night, actually. And hey, I'm just saying, y'all, one of those teams could be 1-3. One of those teams has dropped the ball. Literally, Derrick Henry. Keep fumbling. Derrick Henry, what we doing, bro? Derrick Henry, why you keep fumbling the ball? We can't keep sitting up there calling you King Henry and you just cost your team 2 games. Derrick Henry this season so far has cost the Baltimore Ravens 2 games with big, crucial fumbles in crucial moments, hurting the team. It's unfamiliar territory. And I get it. You ticked off, you're throwing your tantrums on the sideline, but somebody got to pull him in, tell him to get his head out his ass and get it right. You're costing your team some games. That's 2 of them already. Now, it's not the end all be all. Let's keep it real. There's a number of things that happen in games to where the games are decided. But when you need your best players to be their best, Derrick Henry has not been at his best in those moments. You got to be better, bro. You got to be better, bro. And the same thing can be said for Lamar Jackson, too. In that fourth quarter, it was not a great showing. And all them times that I thought that he was going to be able to escape and get out the pocket and pick up first downs and be able to move the chains, Lamar Jackson was neutralized by that Detroit Lions defense. Good job on them. Not even going to hold you. Great job out of Detroit Lions defense. I can't even hate, bro. I can't even hate. But hey, we'll see what happens moving forward. Again, it is still early in the season. There is still a lot of games to be played. We're still going to find out about more teams. We're still going to have to see who can stay healthy, who can move through and go up there and stack wins right now until we get into November, December, to where positioning really is going to take its shape and take its form. We're going to see those moments. But as of right now, the Lions trying to put people on notice. So I can't even hate. I can't hate. In Baltimore, my people from Baltimore, y'all got to get it together, dog. Y'all got to get it together. Now, before we get up out of here, we got to talk about some major issues. Well, injuries, excuse me. Got to talk about some major injuries around the NFL. Nick Bosa ruled out for the rest of the season yesterday with an ACL injury. Devastating loss to a San Francisco 49ers, who honestly have surprised me thus far this season, even without Brock Purdy. They got Mac Jones coming up in there and putting on performances. I'm like, hold on, who is Buddy? This is that first year Patriots Mac Jones. You know what I'm saying? Looking good out there. I can't even hate. And then we got injuries to Najee Harris. Suffered a ruptured Achilles. My goodness. Nobody wants to go through a ruptured Achilles, especially a big power back like Najee Harris. I'm hoping for a good recovery. I'm hoping that he can come back and bounce back and be well. But man, our Achilles bad. And one thing that we got to talk about is that long step before you explode forward that these trainers are having these athletes do, that's blowing their Achilles. What the hell has changed with the training staffs and the personal trainers to where when basketball players want to go and just explode forward, why do you have these athletes taking this long ass step back to move forward? It's something we got to talk about, bro. It's something we got to talk about because not only have we seen those examples in basketball, now we're seeing those examples in football. And what was something that did not happen as often with Achilles injuries is starting to stack up more around different sports. You know what I'm saying? At a higher rate, or at least from what I've seen. We got to figure that out. Another major injury, y'all, is coming from Arizona. James Conner. He will be out for the season with a foot injury. With the foot injury. And that's out for the season. That's a major loss to Arizona Cardinals team who is still trying to find their way. Honestly, they've been a bit disappointed, and especially Marvin Harrison Jr., bro. Your draft class is outpacing you, and you were supposed to be one of them ones. I don't know if you got to move on to a different scene, a different team, or whatever. Or you tired of that desert in Arizona. What? I don't know. But he ain't living up to the expectations that he came into this league with, and he has to be better. Like, how you dropping simple stuff? I did like some of the stuff I see second and third grade flag football teams, young kids make the same catches he dropping every week, every weekend. What we doing? You know what I'm saying? What we doing? Is the focus there? What the hell is going on with Marvin Harrison Jr.? That's another topic for another day. We might have to get into that. But for the meantime, in between time, some major injuries around the NFL that is going to affect these teams moving forward. We'll see how teams are going to adjust and move forward and make decisions moving forward. Because losing a pass rusher like Nick Bosa for the San Francisco 49ers, that's devastating. Run game for the Los Angeles Chargers, you should be all right with Omari and Hampton still back there. James Conner with Arizona. Where do you go from there, Arizona? Where do you go from there? But hey, we gonna see what happens. Make sure y'all stay locked in and tuned in to NFL Central because we gonna keep on bringing the funk, and y'all just make sure y'all get ready to receive the funk. You know what I'm saying? But hey, that is it for me today, y'all. I appreciate y'all for tuning in to another episode. Before y'all get up out of here, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell, man. We appreciate y'all. Make sure you always love football, and y'all already know. We gonna catch y'all on the next one for sure. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Breaks Media.